What's good? What's good, y'all? We back again, man. We got my boy Boyer Bay. He gonna give us some game today. Boyer, what's good?
What's good, man? Repping the 313 in the D, man, in the D
Man,
town, man. You see
you,
I'm repping it.
you already know.
Yes, sir.
Mafia, what's the deal?
Yeah, we in here. We back.
Lolo, what's good?
Hi guys, thanks for having me.
So man, we're gonna kick it about we kicking about the training, man, the whole training process with new drivers and you know how that go. We actually got a real time driver in here, man, a real time trainer. That's what I mean. We've been training drivers for a little minute. My boy Boyer Bay. What's good, man? Your sound Boyer, your sound. Yep. Boyer.
Can you hear?
Yep. What's good, man?
What's up? What's up?
So we need to address the new drivers on how training goes, man. I just put the intro down for you, man. Go ahead and put the demonstration down.
Uh, well, I mean, it's a lot of talk, man. You know what I'm saying? Especially on TikTok, man. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of new drivers coming into the industry, and a lot of them have a lot of different stories to tell about um, their trainers and how they were trained. So I thought this would be a nice hot topic to talk about, especially for drivers that are coming into the industry, getting their CDLs and what they should be expecting versus what they might actually get when it
Mm,
comes to training.
hmm
So I definitely wanted to talk about that. I trained for about 5 years. So um, once I put in about 6 months worth of driving. I was trained. I had a really good trainer too, man. He definitely gave me all the ins and outs to trucking, and then once I was off his truck, I put everything that he gave me to the test. So and it worked out. And then one of the benefits for sure was that uh I was able to always call him, um, even after I left his truck. You know what I'm saying? After I got off his truck, after about 2 weeks of training, um, he gave me his phone number and he said, "Call me anytime you need me, anytime." And
mm.
so that was a big help for me. That was definitely a big help for me, especially when it comes to being trained and then going on to train others. You know, So, but a lot of the students that come into the industry, they don't get the correct training because, and the reason I say that is because a lot of the trainers, they don't have enough experience to actually train, and I want to say the majority of them are just chasing the bag. They're
Mm.
just chasing after the students' miles, you know. So when chasing after miles, you really don't get that complete training that that you're supposed to get, because the trainer is chasing after the miles that he can get from the student. And so a lot of stuff goes undone, such as backing. That's one of the big things right there. Backing is one of the big things when it comes to training with students. And backing takes time. Backing, understanding the backing, turning your wheel and watching how your trailer is turning. And that takes time, man. That
Hey,
takes a lot of time
do
to
you
be.
feel like training is underpaid?
Well, I don't necessarily feel like training is underpaid. And the reason I say that is because you get the trainees miles. You get the trainees
Yeah, but
miles.
I'm talking about you taking another soul. You
Oh,
trusting them with your
okay.
life.
Yeah, okay. You saying from that aspect.
Yeah,
I
you
would say
invite
yes.
somebody else in your truck to show them, you know. Well, I did train. I trained at Stevens Transport. I probably got like 6 or 7 students up under my belt. But this
Okay.
one cat, bro, I had to kick him off, and he was from Haiti. You know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Granted, I did get paid. I got paid a per diem each day they was on the truck, and I got paid they miles. But
Okay.
essentially, when it first started off, I felt like, man, I need more money than this shit. You know,
Okay.
especially when
I
you
I,
dealing
I see where
with
you're coming
foreign
from.
drivers, the
Yeah.
Africans, no shade to nobody, and the language barrier, the verbiage, and you telling them because at the end of the day, sometimes they do got to do night driving, bro, and
Okay.
especially if
Oh,
you patrol during the day, that means I got to at least get me a cat nap and let the dog run.
Hey, see now you're getting into the depth of this whole thing, man, because um yeah, I think we should get paid more as trainers. But before we even get into that, let's make sure that the person that's doing the training has enough experience to be out here training,
Yeah, qualified.
first and foremost. So I don't know. Lolo, how was your training experience when you was out there?
So my training experience, I went with, I ended up going with FedEx Express. So I was local. I had went to like their in-house CDL school. So even when like I got done with them, like I had a job while I was waiting to go to school with them. I had a job. Um, I was getting paid to go to school, and then as soon as I got out of school, of course, I had a job. Um, and actually, at the time, they didn't have a program where like you owed them money. They didn't have a contract. So, um, my situation was a lot different than everyone else, I'll say. And like I don't have restrictions on my license. I have all my endorsements, and um, I'm really blessed.
so
And
what?
I
I wanted to ask. So was it a good experience by you getting trained by another? Because you're a female. Was it
mhm.
another male that trained you, or was it another female? Because now we get to talk about the female experience as far as from training. Did you feel uncomfortable? Was it a male? Was it a female?
I had two men, and like I went to CDO school. It's just like I guess other schools, but it just happened to be in-house. Like they have training trucks and everything. They'll say like driver development on the side. Like they have a sleeper. My training truck was a FLD, if y'all know what that is. Um, and it's got 3 seats in the back. And so when you're trying to shift the gears and get through the intersection, you're so stressed out. You got three of your classmates in the back, so don't mess up.
Uh,
What the hell is a FMB? I ain't never heard of
FLD,
that.
a Freightliner FLD.
Yeah. So it got three seats
what's
in
it?
the
It's
back.
got a what's it got a bench? It's got a bench in the back.
Well, they had theirs set up because normally it's a sleeper back there, but they had it set up there, so it's like 3 seats in the back, so it was like a bench.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what about now? Did you after you got your CDLs and you went on with a company? Did you start out with a company that took you out over the road, and then you had a trainer for like a week, like y'all stayed together physically for a week or something? Lolo.
It was so FedEx Express, it's local, and I was local the whole time before CDL school working for them. While I was local, because like I said, it's in-house, like it's FedEx Express has their own school. It's no third party, none of that. Um,
Mm.
when it came time for my actual CDL test, I actually took it through the state. Like I actually went to the state troopers to a state, the actual, um, I forgot what the facility, what they call them, but I took mine through the actual state. There was no third party testers, which actually is a blessing in disguise because if you guys don't know, a lot of these third party testers, they've been shown that they're not testing people, and they're just pushing people through for money and for profit. And so
Okay.
a lot of CDLs have been getting revoked because you know they didn't deserve to have them in the first place. And that's something I'm
Okay.
just glad I don't have to worry about.
Okay. Okay.
And
So
after that, I was local. I was local.
Damn.
Well, you know what? Yeah, she just said you well, I mean, that's something kind of unheard of, but I've heard a lot of stories where drivers got their CDLs and then they went straight local. Like I didn't have that. I didn't have the option to be able to do that because I was only one company actually reached out to me after I graduated from school. So I was just blessed to be able to have that option because on my record I had a felony. Well, I actually had three felonies, but I had just finished doing time for my last felony, which was in 19. It was I caught the charge in 1989, and then I came home in 2003. So it was like 8 9 years later when I decided to get my CDLs. I was like eight. I was well. I'm 60 now. I'm currently 60, but I was age 47 when I decided to get my CDL license. So I had to for a long time. The reason I didn't get my CDL license because I assumed I had a felony on my record. I wouldn't be able to get the job. So I end up hearing a conversation between a husband and wife team at a job that I was working at. They were both talking about leaving that job and they were talking about getting their CDLs. So I started questioning them. I was like, so what's the process? Blah, blah, blah. I'm asking them, what's the blueprint to that? So they explained to me all of the stuff that they were going through. And they were going to be leaving the job and they were going to be team driving this, that, and the other. And so um, they told me just reach out to a company and see what they say, you know. And so that's what I did, finally, after so many years. I'm like, what do I got to lose? You know what I'm saying? So I reached out to a company, a trucking school, and I told them, everything about me, what I'm saying, as far as my situation or whatever. I was off parole. I had been off paper for 8 years. And I think the guideline at that time is that you had to been off paper for 7 years. So I had 1 year over the limit. So I was like, okay, well, what is it going to take for me to be able to, get into schooling or whatever? So I think they ran my credit or something, and they came up with a sub amount of money that I had to put down. I think I had like about, I think I had like 1,500 saved up from the job that I was working at the time. So they told me I had to put down 1,000. They told me I had to put down $1,000, and then after that, after completing the schooling, um, then whatever job I link up with, hopefully the company that I'm signing on with, they'll pay half, like they'll reimburse me for staying with them for so long. And then, so that's the kind of aspect that I went through, as far as getting into trucking, only one company. I reached out to like 20 companies. Nobody would touch me, you know, and the only person that touched me, the only person that reached out to me was Trans Am Trucking. So that's
Oh,
where I ended up going. I ended up going to Trans Am Trucking out in Olathe, Kansas. So that's where my journey started at. But
hey, hey,
I stayed with them. You know what I'm saying? I stayed with them for 2 years. I stayed with them for 2 years, and then at into my second year, that's when I started training. That's when I started training students.
hey, Boyer.
Yes,
So
sir.
when you was talking about my bad, Boyer Bay. Let me get it
Yes,
right.
sir.
Boyer
Thank you.
Bay. When you was talking about the maneuvers, I want you to get more into that because that's what I had a problem with. That that stage of training was the worst for me. I don't know if it was for everybody else, but it took me so long. It took me so long to learn the trailer. And
Mm,
one trainer told me, and when he told me this, shout out to the guys at US Truck Driving at Van Dyke and 15 Mile. But when he told me this, he said, listen, when you he said steer towards your problem when you backing up. Once he said that, that shit clicked. Like when you going
okay.
back and you reading the trailer and you see it going too far to the left, you gonna steer
Mm,
to the left, and then it's gonna open up for you. Or when you
Okay.
going forward, steer to your problem. When I got that, I'm like, okay, bet. And then ever since then, it's been on and popping. But it took me so long. What's some other problems, if not that one, that you've seen as far as people like just being hung out to dry and they quit or whatever, man? We need your expertise on that too, man. For anybody that's looking from the outside in.
Well, honestly, you know what? Here's the deal, man. So the companies they allow people that's got like 3 months, 6 months of driving to train other students. Me personally, I think a year is a good number to become a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
That's my personal opinion. 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. I don't think that's really enough time to really see a lot of things out here, be aware of a lot of things out here. I think it takes at least a year for someone to be comfortable in their skin when it comes to trucking and also training. That's just my personal opinion. But there are a lot of companies out here. Hey, shit. It's probably some companies out here after 30 days. Hey, hey, look, man, the companies is trying to make money, bro. You know, and and legitimately they have to be trained. You know, how they get trained, that's a whole different ball game. But they have to be somewhat trained. That means being on a truck with a trainer, you know, for a week or 2 weeks. I think the minimum is a week, and then man, there's some companies out here, man. They got like Prime and them. They got people on the truck for over 30, 60 days, bro. You know, so
I had a one of my homeboys, man. I want I want to put it. I'm gonna put it. He gonna tell his own story, but they put him in the truck by himself on his. It was Trans Am. They put his ass on the truck by himself. The first, I swear to God, the first day he was calling me every day, bro. Like, how do I do this? How do I do that? I'm like, you are you serious? They really did that to you? But
right.
we got through the process, and he went to New Jersey. He went to
Ooh.
Pennsylvania. I'm just like, how the hell? And he got into an accident. He
Uh,
sideswiped a fucking Range Rover. I'm like, bro, that's gonna happen. Not sideswiping, but you're gonna make mistakes your first
mm-hmm.
time. But I don't think Trans Am should have did him like that, man. I don't think they should. Like you said, it's a cash grab. What'd you think about that, Low? Like,
So when it comes to like the mega carriers, the problem is we don't have training. There is no training with the mega carriers, and they want team drivers, and they
Exactly.
have team drivers, and they call it training, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can say, okay, what's the trainers being greedy? It's this, that. Why are they put in a position between feeding their family? Why can't they pay for trainers? Because when you put in that financial incentive to say, we'll give you the miles, everything is by miles, and truth be told, that trainee should never be behind the wheel without the trainer in the passenger seat. Why
Mm-hmm.
are there loads that are being booked that cannot be ran by a solo driver? It should never be, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sleep in a sleeper. Call me when we get to California. Wake me up when we get to California. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
um, you know, and also 1 year, Mr. Boyer Bay talked about 1 year of experience. 1 year of experience is, it could be anything. Like you could have spent like 1 year of experience and you could have been a yard spotter. Doesn't mean you know what you're doing. I mean, me, for instance, I'd been trucking for about a year and a half, and I didn't know how to slide tandems because I'd never, like FedEx Express, we couldn't slide tandems. They were permanently locked. So
Oh yeah.
my first week when I went OTR, I had the experience. I didn't know how to slide tandems, and I had to call people because I didn't know how to slide tandems.
Okay.
So you can have the experience, but not all experience is created equal, and there
Mm-hmm.
needs to be regulation. Like there's a certain infamous, probably the worst trucking company of all time. If you know, they will make you a trainer if you have 90 days of experience. And there's some scary stuff out there. There's some scary
Yes,
stuff out there.
yes.
How you feel
I
about that, Mafia or boy, buddy?
gonna let the brother. I want to hear what the brother got to say. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Hey,
excited to meet the brother because I always see him on TikTok. I ain't never, like that's my man's though.
Yeah, yeah.
me personally, bro, I did train, and but yeah, you definitely got. I feel where boy you're coming from. Like you definitely got to be vetted before you start, you know, dishing out what you went through. And uh, I love the Northeast. You know what I'm saying? The Northeast is just it's a turn on for me to go to New York and in and out of the boroughs. You know what I'm saying?
It's a
I get
challenge, bro. It's a challenge.
Yeah, because I get to work myself. You know what I'm saying? On the aspect of you know working my electrons and neutrons in my brains to dang, I gotta
Yeah,
offset, do a blind side, then do a straight
yeah.
line back for a little bit, then
Mm-hmm.
cut it at a 45 to get it in the
Mm-hmm.
dough down the alley, with cars and people walking and motherfuckers honking the horn at you, cussing you out. It's a turn on. You know what I'm saying? And I love pissing people off. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when you come down like training people, some people don't even fucking need to be on the road. If you already can't drive in a regular vehicle, ain't it doesn't make no sense for you to go get your CDL and you already can't drive a regular car.
Yeah,
You know, so now you in a semi and you treating it like it's a car. That's where the
yep,
accidents come in, because now you
yeah.
just because it don't switch gears, you treating it like it's a Nissan Versa, you know, and now you done got stuck over here, you done knocked down some power line, a tree took down a tree, side swiping cars.
Yeah.
That's all deal with driver neglect. And
Mhm.
accidents happen with driving neglect, overthinking, overcorrecting, and you're not paying attention. You cussing out girlfriend on the phone. So, me personally, I feel like in order for you to train, it should be some state or federal regulation mandated process for that. That
Mhm.
way, okay, is this person competent or nah, he ain't competent. Just let that man be a solo driver and he can, doom his own self. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
for as the money portion, yeah, it is some good money. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna hold you. I done had a couple checks off a couple students' backs, you know, but some of them like, man, I had to kick that nigga out the truck. Hey, bro, this ain't gonna work out. Excuse me for the N word, but it's not gonna work out, dog. Because first of all, you undermining me. You at nighttime, you waking me up because you arguing with that girl because you gotta send her money, and
Mhm.
bro, I can't get no sleep. Then you
Yeah.
done miss your exit about 4, 5 times, and the damn GPS keep going reroute. Bro, you ain't paying attention, but you all in your conversation on the phone.
Yeah.
Ain't got no problem with you talking
Mhm.
to your people, but also, hey man, this is my diesel, bro, in this truck. You just burning it. Company
Mhm.
not gonna reimburse me for my diesel. If
Right.
that being said, bro, if you ain't trying to listen, do this, then you might well go and go. And like me, I don't train. I train outside of the truck. You know what I'm saying? When I do backing situations, I get out of the truck. That
Mhm.
way, the student got the whole truck to itself. You know what I'm saying?
There you
Standing
go.
in the front, I'm gonna stand in the back to make sure
There you
you don't
go.
hit. You know,
Mhm.
I don't train from the front. I'm not gonna tell you how to overcorrect or turn. None of that. Hey,
Mhm.
bro, I'm gonna give you a couple signs, and I'm gonna yell, roll your window all the way down. I don't care if it's cold or hot. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
you can hear and see me, and keep you from backing into something.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, if it take you an hour, it take you an hour. If it don't, it don't. You know what I'm saying? But your repetitions, the more you get in, the more backing situations you get in, the better you become, and you start seeing your time go down over time. Hey,
You
fellas,
are
man,
so right, bro.
I love y'all. I'm gonna have to hop off here.
You got to
Lolo,
roll out.
yeah, I gotta go.
All right,
D,
man.
Lolo, Warrior, it's been a pleasure, man. It's
I'm
been a
lock
pleasure.
Yes,
in with
sir.
you, man. Hey, I'm gonna lock in with you, man, for sure when you get some
All
time,
right.
man.
Hey, he just
All right, for
blessed us
sure.
with some game, man. We gonna see him later.
Hey, you know what, man? That brother was so right, man, about the things he was saying, man. One thing that my student taught me, man, as far as like when it come to backing,
Mm-hmm.
righty tighty, lefty loosey. So
Righty, tighty,
if
lefty, loosey.
yeah, if you want to tighten your trailer inward, you want to
Mm-hmm.
turn your steering wheel to the right, to the right, to the right. If you want to loosen it up, if you coming in too close to another trailer when you backing in, you want to take your steering wheel to the left. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Loosen up the trailer. You want to tighten it in. You want to bring that trailer in behind you when you're looking out your window. You want to bring that trailer in, to position in between those yellow lines. You want to turn that wheel to the right, and if it's not coming in fast enough, that means you need to turn your wheel in a little bit more faster to bring that
Yeah.
trailer in. If you're coming in too fast and you need to loosen it up, you need to loosen that trailer up to center it up. You want to put the left on it. And if it's not moving fast enough, you got to turn that wheel even faster because the cab is really dictating how the trailer gonna position.
So I was when Mafia was just talking about um being in the truck and the GPS going reroute, and all of that with when you training another driver. You brought up a valid point too, man. When we kicked it off the air, when you was talking about, man, I don't feel safe sometimes. I seen this one incident, and please tell us, man, about what you heard about how the other fatality on the road and why just
Uh,
due to him being fatigued. That's another thing, man. And when we training somebody, do we trust them? Are we losing sleep? How did that go?
Me personally, as a trainer, um, when well, first of all, this is what transpires. And Lolo, she talked about this too. What happens is that a lot of trainers are chasing after the bag. They're chasing after the student's mouth. So what happens is, as soon as the student gets in the truck, a lot of these companies are turning their the aspect of training is actually goes out of the window. What happens is it becomes a team load off the rip,
Mm,
and the reason why and the reason why it's happening like that is because the trainer is not saying, "Hey, man, that's not gonna happen."
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I didn't allow them to force team lows on me, knowing that my student was new on my truck. They was like, "Hey, man, how you feel about they talking to me, calling me, you on the phone, hey, man, we want to dispatch you this load from Pennsylvania to California, man. How you feel about that? You think you and your trainee can do that?" And I tell them no. Off the rip, I tell them no. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna take on that responsibility because first and foremost, what's gonna end up happening is that what they normally do, the trainers do, they put, say, for instance, you on I-80 or something. It's a straight shot on I-80.
mhm.
You can stay on the road with your eyes closed and do I-80 or I-70. Just stay on 70. I need you to drive 500 miles on I-70. Don't turn, don't go this way, don't go that way, just go straight. Just stay on 70 west, you know, and and the trainer climb in the back in the sleeper and go to sleep, chasing the bag. See, I didn't
And
do that.
See, with my homeboy, this how I did, man. When I trained him, this is like I trained about 3 people, but my best experience was with my homeboy because we kind of knew each other. I knew exactly, and this bring another point, but we're gonna get to that. I knew when he got tired. All right, boom, you got 2 hours. And then we went into 3 hours the next day. This is a 30-day training period. We're gonna work you up to 11 hours. You feel what I'm
Build
saying?
up,
All
build
right,
up.
the
Yeah,
next
build up.
the build up. Now he got it. So now he driving 11 hours off top. That's the only
Okay.
time we gonna accept the load going from Pennsylvania to California when you
Yeah.
already mid training. You feel me? And I feel like, all right, boom, I can go to sleep. But a lot of times, bro, that should be dangerous as hell, bro. I'm not about to just, you feel me? I'm not about to put my life on the line and I don't feel comfortable. And for the bag, hell no. Nah. Cause I got kids, I gotta go home too. And
Mhm.
they waiting on me to come in. I'm not doing that. Not for no extra money, not for nothing until they ready. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What you think, Lolo?
This is a truly interesting conversation. For context. Like, I'm just now getting out of training because I went to a new company, and even though we're local, like we've been starting like so early. When I say early, I mean like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and we're
Mm.
going many, many hours away. So a lot of times, like we'll split it. Like, oh, you drive up, I'll drive back. And yesterday, my trainer had nodded out while he was driving while I was in the back sleep.
Oh.
Cause I wake up, I hear the brakes, like I wake up and we're on like a ramp. I'm like, why are we on a ramp? Like maybe he, gotta go to the bathroom or something. He's like,
Uh
no. He's like, oh, he's like, no, I nodded out, like I fell asleep, and so at least he knew when to park it. But here seeing this like and still like even though I've been driving for years, it's like it can still that you can still be in that kind of situation even with some years under your belt because all it takes, you go to a new company, you want to try something different, like it still happens. But I think it definitely there needs to be, aside from like driver instructor for CDO school, there needs to be some kind of standard, some kind of state or federal license or something for these trainers. And there needs to be regulation that these companies can't just throw people out here and essentially force team loads on people without their consent, especially if they don't want to, because it's
hmm.
endangering the public and it endangers students, and it's unethical.
Yes.
man,
I definitely agree with that because, like I said, if the trainers aren't saying, "Hey, I'm not doing that," versus chasing the bag, it would be a lot more ethical. But like I said, when a student gets in my truck, okay, I'll just give you an example. When a student gets in my truck, first of all, we're gonna start with this. Most students that get in the truck, I don't. This is my personal opinion. I don't. When students first get in the truck, I don't think they're capable of driving 11 hours off the rip. I
Yep.
think they have to build up stamina to be able to do that because you're coming into a new industry. Like who's like first and foremost, what job is driving 11 hours or working 14 hours? It's this trucking. So if you're coming into it new as a student, I don't really see a student being able to stay up and drive for 11 hours in their first couple days of. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a few people that pass that test, but the majority of students that come into the industry being trained, they're not able to drive 11 hours, even work 14-hour days. So that's just something, to be mindful of. And so as a trainer, when I first get a student on my truck, um, I want them to drive during the day. And guess what? I'm sitting over in the passenger seat. It's been many times when I've driven 8 hours and I sat in the passenger seat while my student drove for another 4 or 5 hours. And then when we shut the truck down, we both went to sleep.
Yep. The
yeah,
way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the reason that happened is because I would not accept team load. But I didn't get the bag either. But you know what? When I first got into training, like I was really caught up on. Oh man, I can get their miles. Oh, I'm thinking in my head off the top. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get 1,000 out of them, and I'm gonna drive 1,500. And I was already counting like my chickens before they hatched. But you know what? Once I decided to say, you know what, fuck the bag. Like I'm really gonna train. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm really gonna do. Like if I get a student that's that's quick learner or whatever, okay, I'll get the bag then. But most of my students, they weren't like that. Every now and then I would catch some students that had skills. They comprehended fast. They was able to stay up for more than 8 hours in driving. But that was every year. That was every other now and then. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, like I literally, like I never trained somebody and got in the sleeper and said, "Hey man, wake me up after you drive 200-300 miles." First of all, I ain't feel safe like that, especially bringing somebody new on my truck. I ain't feel like that. But these trainers out here, man, they doing that shit sloppy as hell, man. They'll put a student on the truck the first day and tell them to drive 300 or 400 miles and wake me up after you get to a certain point. I can't do that, bro. I don't feel safe like that, you know.
No.
Especially going in, especially dealing with mountains, steep hills, steep grades, and downgrades, and all kind of stuff. Nah, I couldn't do it. Training, listen, messing around with training, bro, man, I was a tired brother, man. I'm telling you, I was tired. Because guess what? I never went to sleep, bro. Never. I sat in the passenger seat talking to my trainee. And then another thing is that it's crazy because after as a trainer, after you get done driving, you expect your trainer to jump into the driver's seat and start driving too. But here's the deal: as the trainer, I'm tired as hell. I just did 8 hours of train, 8 hours or 11 hours straight. Now my trainee is in the seat. You think I want to sit in the passenger seat and stay up with him for the next 4 or 5 hours?
Mm-mm.
Making sure he doing the right thing, walking him through the process. Like I'm tired, man. I want to get into bed, but
So,
I
boy,
can't.
I want to say this. How long do you think it takes a trainee to get it? 2 months, 3 months, a year?
I can't really say that, bro, because everybody is different. You got some people at prime that don't feel comfortable getting out of a truck after being trained after 2 weeks. They stay months.
Mm.
They got 30-day setups and 60-day setups and 90-day setups. You know, I think it all depends on the student and how fast they comprehending. You know, I can't really say because some people don't feel comfortable. Even after you train them, they still not comfortable, and that's understandable. You coming into a new industry that you've never done before. You got a 50-foot, 53-foot trailer and a cab, and you have to maneuver this among other trucks and cars.
So what about
So
this? What if it take them a year? You think they should be getting trained a whole year without making that money like
I
they
don't
normally
think
be?
I don't think a company is going to allow that to happen.
What you think
I
gonna
don't.
happen? They not gonna hire them, or they
No,
just
I
out of
think
there?
they'll just let them go
Mm.
because the company is in it to make money. I don't think they're going to let someone train for a year. I think what they're going to end up doing is that once the company feels that you had enough training, then they're going to say, here go your keys and here go your truck.
Hmm.
And then when you start tearing up shit, or you ain't feeling comfortable, and you ain't doing, you still not feeling comfortable, it's gonna reflect on what you're doing out there on the road. You're gonna be tearing down telephone poles. You're gonna be backing in shit. It's gonna take you all day to drop a load and pick up a load and all of that. And they just gonna let you go. Move on to the next person. I mean, I've never heard of a company training somebody for a year. That's I ain't never heard of that. You heard of that, Lolo?
I heard back in the day, like they used to keep people on a truck for a lot longer and it was more standard.
Uh-huh.
Um, but like I'm not sure. I heard it used to be like you used to have to be in your trainer's truck for months, but I've never heard like a year. I mean, and especially like in this day and age.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm thinking myself too. In this day and age, companies is moving so fast and quick. You know, you be in the truck for about a week, and then after that, here go your keys. Because you got to remember,
Hmm.
man, the more people that they can get out of a trainer truck, that's double the money.
But
That's
shit,
doubling the money.
at what cost though? Because you got people. Okay, get their ass out the truck and get them in their own truck. Then they gonna be a fucking problem out here, and that's what we seeing. You got
Yeah.
guys that's out here driving, man. I was for real legit nervous. I've been driving for 8 years. I'm nervous because we in the 65 and your ass going 80. Like, come on, bro. We ain't gotta go that fast. And I don't
Yeah.
get nervous easily, but the way people
Right.
drive in they 80 with their phone in their hand, they doing
Uh,
like this, got their leg up, driving, they doing all this. And I'm like, nah, I'm straight, bro. I'm cool on y'all. This shit ain't for me no more. But if this what trucking is gonna get into, bro, I'm good. I'm straight. I'll go work at McDonald's. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So I don't
It's a dangerous job, man. You know what I'm saying? And everyone has to come to a starting point when it comes to trucking. So, uh, you go to school, you take all these different tests, you watch all these different films and videos, and then they put you out on a grinder, and then they kind of put it to the test of what it is that the book work that they've given you, and now you tying everything together. And then from there, you get hired to a company, and then now they put you in a truck with a trainer for a week or 2 weeks, and then you're supposed to tie everything together from there. And like I said before, um, to really get an aspect of trucking, I would say that, man, you really need to be out on the road for about a year, man.
You
You need to.
you about to ruffle a lot of
I
feathers.
Hey, I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of people talking about, man, it only took me 30 days and I was ready rocking and rolling and this and that and that and this. But what I'm saying is that all the aspects of trucking, you'll never get a chance to see them. First of all, if you touch on all the states, if you touch on all geographical locations for a year, you should be pretty solid. You should be pretty solid. Like I said, a lot of students come into this game and they get their keys and they give them a truck. And guess what? Most of them don't even know that a lot of cities and states that you go through, you can't go through downtown area. You got to do bypasses. But how would you know that if you never experienced it? What if you only stay in one area all the time? What if you never experienced that type of stuff? Man, I ran into so many different crazy stuff, man. I was at a truck stop one time, man. It was a trainer and a trainee in the same truck. And they both were standing outside trying to figure out how to slide the tandems.
What?
So, yeah,
They both clueless as hell. This is something that you're supposed to know, and it's a safety hazard because we have to have the right weight going through certain states. What if you in California?
40,
What
what's
if
that?
you in
41? Is that the 41 41 inch rule?
that's exactly what it is. And even I failed to do it one time, and that was not too long ago. But I was
Yeah,
also tired, had fatigue on my mind. I didn't have the California legal, but it is what it is. But what about those states? Whereas if you overweight and you turn on the wrong damn curve going down this mountain, you will flip over and your ass will be no longer.
yeah,
It's a fatal accident. You gonna be
yeah,
gone, the truck gonna be gone, and then bad news gonna beat you home, like my grandma said. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
this shit
man.
is serious,
It's
man.
it's a lot. It's a lot to learn, man. Because if you don't go to certain areas, then you'll never know.
Hmm.
You'll be if you used to just staying in the Midwest, then you're gonna do what the Midwest is doing. But when you go to California and you enter
Yep.
into those ports of entry and those way stations, guess what? They checking to see where them tandems sitting at. They checking. And if you ain't never been there before and you never experienced it, you know what? 9 times out of 10, you gonna have. Hey, you know what they say, man. You got if you gonna live, you gotta learn. You
Yeah. Yeah.
know, they're gonna pull you in. They're gonna say, hey man, your time's too far back. Well, you used to drive with your tandems all the way back in the Midwest, or certain places. Now you out in other places that you normally don't go, and then they bring it to your attention. Now, that's just something that you add on to a book of knowledge when it comes to trucking. That's why I said if you're doing all the states and you out here for a year, like I used to drive from Michigan to Utah, from Utah to Seattle, Washington, from Seattle,
Mhm.
Washington down to the Bay Area, and from the Bay Area back to New Jersey and then back home.
Sheesh.
That used to be my route.
I want to say this too, because Lolo, she brought up a valid point. You get to California and you gotta be California legal. That's the 41 foot rule from the kingpin. So what if you don't know how to move you ain't never got trained on moving your tandems? And a lot of times, like in Banning, California, they gonna ask you, they gonna say, look, we'll give you 3 times to 3 attempts.
To get
You
it get it
sitting there
right.
looking crazy to get it right. You don't know what the hell going on. Now you clueless, and now they put your ass out of service after the third time. Now you costing the damn company money. You know what I'm saying? It's it's
Yeah,
it's it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
yeah, exactly.
Um, I want to say one more thing too. Let's bring this up. I think don't laugh when I say this. I think that every company before you go through, all of this other stuff, the randoms and all that, and being seated in the truck, they need to go through some psychological tests with a lot of these trainees because you might have somebody on your truck that's kind of not mentally stable, man. I've seen a lot of fights happen on them trucks with trainers because he
Mm,
told somebody to do something and it might have been a trigger. How y'all feel about
yeah.
that?
Go ahead,
I
Lolo.
approve. I approve this message. I approve this message. You hear you see these horror stories, and you see like trainee, and they've made the news, and
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how
yeah,
we would go about that, but we need something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you because there's been many cases where students and trainees, one has unalived another.
Mm.
There's been a lot of cases of that where the student was talking down, the trainer was talking down to the student wasn't having it, and one night he just got up and killed the trainer. You know, so um, compatibility is a must when it comes to training.
Can you say
Compatibility,
that again, Matt? Yep. It gotta be.
compatibility. It has to
Mhm.
be factored in. But with these trucking companies, all they're doing is trying to make money. So as far as the compatibility, they're not really even looking at that. You know, they're just looking at the money aspect. And so they'll put two people that's crashing out on the same truck, or one that has that don't tolerate too much of nothing, and put a student in that don't tolerate too much of nothing. They'll put them two together. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you and this is where you hear those types of stories where one person unalived another person on the truck. You know, it's a lot of factoring to this. Um, Mental health. You know what? One thing too, man, that I've been seeing more and more and more of. I haven't seen it that I seen in the beginning of my trucking. I really never considered it, and I really never heard a lot of talk about it. But for some reason, right now in this time of era, they're talking a lot about mental issues. You know, when it comes to truck driving,
Yeah.
you know,
I I
your mental
I,
capacity.
I feel like the truck, it does a lot to your mental, man. People go through, I went through a lot mentally, going through depressed stages. I'm here just to open it up. Let's
Yeah,
open up Pandora's box by talking about that, because you own a truck by yourself, right?
yeah,
After training or during training. You might be on there with somebody that smokes cigarettes. You don't like
yeah.
the smell of cigarettes. That shit might trigger you. But
Hmm.
you going through all of uh these mental stages, and it's crazy, man. You have to kind of unwind sometimes and get off that truck, man, and be able to deal with life. A lot of things happen on the road too. You got to factor that in. You might miss your family, you might miss your wife. Think about the mental stage that you at when you missing your wife or somebody pass away, and
Hmm.
somebody might cut you off. Now you gonna crash out because you're already depressed. You're thinking about going home. You're thinking about somebody who just passed away. You're thinking about all of these things, and somebody cut you off, flip the finger up at you. You about to crash
Hmm.
out for sure. Unless you've had that happen to you so many times and you already know how to mellow yourself out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And this is what we dealing with in trucking, man. Just that part too. You know?
Well, how do you handle that, Lolo, when somebody ride past you or flick you off or something like because four wheelers they don't like us anyway. You know what I'm saying? We moving too slow for them, so you know how that go. What you think about that, Lolo?
I've been using things like trips, I guess tricks that I used to use when I was a first responder. So like,
Hmm.
grounding techniques, taking a deep breath, calling this headset. I call somebody.
Hmm. Okay.
Sometimes people we don't take time for ourselves. Pull over, put something in the microwave. Pull over, eat something. You might just be hungry. Like
Okay.
that's one thing that they don't talk about. And it's like, we recognize that we have all these stressors out on the road and we accept that they are part of the job, right?
Hmm.
And one thing that has over the years that I've noticed is that, there's been times where I've seen horrific things. It was last summer I saw them pull a torso with no head, no legs, no arms
Mm.
out of the grass.
Hmm.
There's been time I've seen multiple bodies on the side of the road, just from being killed or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, just all kinds of stuff. I mean, I was in Kansas City last summer. I'm driving and I'm in the truck. I see a street light and I see a bag with two legs with two legs sticking out, and they had shoes on their feet.
Hmm.
And so they love to say, oh, well, if you don't have your mental health together, don't be driving a truck. Oh, if you're suffering from this, don't drive a truck. But at the same time, we're still human beings, and once we've accepted that certain things will come with the job and that there are hazards and trauma that's going to happen from the job. And
Hmm.
like I said, I used to be a first responder. What they have are I think they're called diffusing or debriefing sessions. So
Hmm.
if there's like an incident, like you witness something traumatic, a death, anything like that, they have all the first responders get in a meeting, preferably with someone trained in the mental health field, and they diffuse and they talk about the incident. And because it dramatically reduces the chances of PTSD, long-term issues, and because people, let's be real here, people are killing themselves. That's what
Yeah.
was
Right.
happening. People were killing themselves, and in the same and it's happening in our career field too. So,
Hmm.
but the difference is that we know. We don't go and say, oh, the police, they see all these things happen. We see the first responders, the firefighters, we see, and we know the EMTs and the paramedics. We see all these things go to, all the things that they go through, but we don't deem them incompetent or incapable of doing their job. We accept it as part of the job hazard and part of the things that come with the job, and we give them the resources to deal with these things. Why do we have such a hard time doing it for truckers? Because when the pandemic came around, we were deemed as necessary. Oh, well, you guys are essential. America needs you. But when we need the resources to do our job, it's, oh, you shouldn't be driving a truck if you've got mental issues. Why are you driving a truck when we still need to make a living just like anyone else? You wouldn't say that to the police because the back the blue people. You can't tell them nothing about that. Oh, we gotta back them, the first responders. But when it comes to us, it's such a hard thing to wrap your mind around. It just
Mhm.
people just they make it complicated. And if we, in the event that we do open up, then we risk our medical card being pulled, which essentially is our career.
That's
Mhm.
So,
correct.
and this is a major issue. I think part of, we need to be pushing for accountability, because why are other people we're seeing the same things with the first responders. Why are we not legally entitled to treatment, or something, or options for people who are seeing horrific things out on the roads, but yet, they have to keep it inside, and we're almost barred from getting the resources and the help that we need, because even if we do open up, our careers and livelihoods and everything we hold dear could be pulled. People have kids.
Yeah, you're
People
right.
Right.
have kids. What are you
You're
supposed to
right.
do? Let's be real here, because they say, well, you shouldn't drive or you shouldn't do this. What are you supposed to do? Let your family starve?
Right. You're definitely making a
So,
good point.
and it really, really, as you can see, this is personal, and I've seen it from the other side, so I know that they have the abilities, that we have the ability. We need to be calling, our lawmakers and our representatives, and um, there needs to be change.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic, man. Because right now I feel like I feel like you know the the Republicans, the Democrats, man, they all can come together to vote for something that's nonsense. But then when it comes to something that makes sense, they all can't come together and then put a plan together. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the people who are depending on them to vote in certain laws. So um, this is where you have to kind of take things into your own hands. You know what I'm saying? Just like some of the techniques that you was talking about, calling somebody or kind of debriefing or diffusing yourself in certain situations. Like I've ran into some weird stuff that really got me hot. Like I was literally crashing out because it happened to me in
You
California where
breaking up,
somebody.
boy.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Maybe it's on his end then. But I got somebody was brake checking me.
Yo.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we had some technical
Oh, okay.
difficulties. We back though.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it happened to me in California. Um, I was coming on. I was entering on an on ramp, coming onto the freeway, and I got into the first lane, and then I jogged over to the second lane, and the car that was following behind me on the ramp entering on the freeway, I guess he felt like I was jumping in front of him or something. So he darted in the hammer lane around me and then jumped back in front of me and kept brake checking me. And then I kept moving over to another lane and he kept jumping over to another lane and kept brake checking me. And I was like, what the fuck is going on with this fucking bullshit here, man? This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And he did that for like a mile, couple miles. And I mean, it really had me heated, you know, and it just made me feel like it just took a lot out of me mentally. You know what I'm saying? Like we all face different dilemmas in trucking or whatever, Um, if it's not one thing, it's another. I know one of the things that really mentally had me bogged down was that I had to do my dispatcher's job, you know. And a lot of people, as long as you stay in trucking, you're gonna run into that. You're gonna run into where you're gonna get dispatched, and then see for me, all I need is pertinent information. I can get from point A to point B as long as I have the pertinent information. Pertinent information is the address, the correct address.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, if there's any special instructions that go along with this load, um, just the little stuff. But it was a company that I was working for. I ended up leaving them because I was always in an argument with the dispatch. I was always in an argument with this dispatch. Man, it was raising my blood pressure. Like I was all even when I wasn't in the truck, I was always in confrontation with someone.
Mhm.
Being at home or just being around people. I was in confrontation all the time. And that was a result from me having a problem with my dispatch, not giving me the correct information, making my job harder than what it should be.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big peeve that I've got as a truck driver. You give me the correct information, give me the correct time for drop, any special instructions. Like I need to go around the building, go to this door, go to that door. It's to me, it's simple stuff. But for some reason, they were making it so complicated for me. You know, here's one of my favorite ones. Hey man, uh, um, I know that your load delivers at 10 p.m. tonight, but I'm telling them, man, I ran into traffic and I'm behind, so I'm not going to be able to get there till 10:30 or 11. Is that going to be a problem? Oh no, 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 you're good. Don't worry about it. They're going to be there waiting for you. I've talked to them already. And then when I arrive at the place of business, everyone's gone.
Mm.
Everyone's gone. But you told me you talked to someone. You said that they're going to be there. They're going to wait for me. I'm rushing. I'm rushing. I'm doing my best to try to get there, you know, as close to the time as I'm supposed to deliver. You're telling me, and then all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls from the broker. Hey, you were supposed to deliver that load for 10 o'clock. Okay, well, you're not talking to my dispatch. What are you talking about? Like, like as a driver, you got to talk to the brokers, you got to talk to your dispatch, you got to deal with idiotic people. It's so much stuff that you got to handle when it comes to a truck driver, man. Like, you got to be the dispatcher or the broker, the driver, you
All that.
know, you got to be all that,
Yeah.
you know, and it becomes stressful. It
Bro,
becomes stressful.
you just stressed me out just talking that last sentence you said. I'm like, damn. We all three of us not in the truck, but it's like, damn, you just brought me to that place where we behind the steering wheel and it's like, damn, I gotta make a call. I gotta argue with you about getting me home on time. I gotta talk to this, try to negotiate that. And it's just that's how it is. And a lot of people don't see it from that aspect until they
Mm-hmm,
get in the seat and they be like, somebody lied to me. They didn't tell me the
mm-hmm.
truth.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true, man. Um, and you know what? And most of the stress comes from your company, bro. Most of the stress comes from your company, man, because they're trying to make money off of you. They're telling you they got the bells and the whistles, and you're gonna make this much money, and it's don't worry about it. They got you driving after your 11 hours. Hey, don't worry about it. We're gonna reset your clock. Just make sure you get the load there. And man, I'm telling you, bro, like you need at least a year out here, bro, of dealing,
Mm.
you before becoming a trainer, bro, just as a solo driver, bro, you're gonna go through a lot of shit just as a solo driver, bro. Now you take on a student with their problems, your problems, dispatch problems, you got to be mentally focused to handle all of that, bro. You got to
Man,
be mentally capable of dealing with all of that shit.
we gonna say this, man. We can go on for days,
Yeah,
minutes, hours, weeks, years about this, man. I think we need to do a part two, man. But you know,
yeah.
any place you want people to find you at, as far as what you're doing and like where merchandise, podcast, where can they find you at, bro?
I got a YouTube channel. It's called oh God, Sean Boyer, SHAUNBOYER 8400,
Uh-oh.
and
We
I've
gonna
got a
drop
lot
that.
of
We gonna drop that
huh.
in the description. We
Okay,
gotta drop that in the description. But go ahead, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I got on my YouTube channel. I do a lot of trucking content. Um, so and that's for YouTube. It's Sean Boyer 8400, and then I got a TikTok page. It's called Boyer Bay, BOYERBEY. And my slogan is know better, do better.
Tricks
Know
and
better,
tips
do
for new
yeah,
drivers.
yeah.
You
Tricks
know
and
I'm
tips for
watching.
new.
Come on.
Oh my God, tricks and tips for new drivers. Know better, do better, man. You know what I'm saying? And you can find me under Boyer Bay.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Low.
So
Low, what's the deal? Plug your everything in.
So you guys can find me on TikTok at Trucking with Lolo, and in my bio I have like my link tree. So anything that's on there, my YouTube channel, I'm on Blue Sky. Um, I guess on my other social media, it's all in my link tree. It's all in my bio on my TikTok page. And I can also send him the link to my link tree as well. So
okay, well that's
Man,
cool.
this your boy 18 Willing, man. I'm 18 Willing on damn near everything. YouTube, TikTok, IG is Mr. 18 Willing, man. Facebook, even give y'all that. Derek Williams Jr. Please add the junior. And that's it, man. That's it. Anything else we gotta say?
Hey, I think we'll probably end up doing a part two, man. You know what I'm saying? We was really just touching the tip of the iceberg, man. You know what I'm saying? But we did cover a lot of topics, man. You know what I'm saying? So that was
Yep.
cool, man. But I think we'll probably end up doing a part two or something like that. But this is my first one
Uh-oh.
anyway, you
Hey, we
know.
did
So
we did our thing, man. Shout out to Truck Mafia too, man. We're
oh
gonna
mhm.
get
yeah,
out
that's
of
my
here.
man's. That's my man's too, man.
He good people. He good people. Look, y'all, we're gonna get out of here, man. We'll see y'all next time when we got that part
All
two,
right.
man. Peace.